Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Boom Yeti. This game is Element Fission, and in today's video, we will be going through the process and doing an LD only reroll. It's a fun challenge that J Gigs has started. I'll show you the rules, the process to get your first few LD scrolls, and maybe a few tips and tricks along the way to make it a little quicker, and maybe what you should look out for. So, if any of that interests you, I hope you sit back, enjoy, have a great time. With no further ado, let's jump straight into LD only rerolls. I do want to take a quick second and shout out Jay Gigs. He's the one that is hosting this challenge. He does have a few guilds that are specific for people that are partaking in the challenge. I will put a link to his Discord and his YouTube channel down below. He's running his own LD only account and making videos on it. Please go check him out. He's awesome, and I do thoroughly enjoy his content. You most likely will as well. The rules for the LD only challenge can be found in JGig's Discord. He has an LD only channel in there. Here we actually have the rules, quick and simple. You can buy an account if you want. You can re-roll if you want. There's no restrictions on how you acquire your LDs. The only restriction is that once you actually begin the challenge, which is either when you get 650 gems to purchase your first Twilight Illyrium, or you make it to the Light Hog Chef, whichever one of those happens, you can only from then on forward use light or dark units, nothing else. So getting to that point, you're allowed to use any other units that you would like, but once you've gotten there, that's the only thing that you could do, hence LD only challenge. To acquire that, it's just here in Memorial Valley, right after the 4th floor. You're going to do the tutorial. That's going to give you the Light Hog Chef. That is going to be your only unit going forward. I would recommend coming into challenges. Path to the Truth is going to be a set of 3-star Fatal Gears. Power those up to maximum. That is going to give you something to put on your 3-star Hog Chef, and you begin your challenge going forward. You're going to acquire your first Twilight Illyrium summon between the 5th and 6th story section of the game. Depending on what's going on for events and things like that, you're going to have a few ticky-tacky extra gems here and there. You're either going to have enough for the first summon at the end of this section, or halfway through the next section, there's going to be another big chunk of gems, and that'll put you over. So that'll be the first time that we actually get to summon something, aside from the guaranteed Hog Chef. Leading up to that, you really just have your Hog Chef. These come out. And then you can put in any LD fodders that you get along the way as well. I haven't gone and gotten any yet, but you can put in any LD fodders. Put gears on them if you need to. Some of them you get are level 40, so it actually works out well. But yeah, let's cue the montage. Let's make it to the first summon. What a montage. What a time. So we've made it through the end of Volcano. Our next step, we could certainly go ahead, knock out these next 300 and get our first summon. The other things that I want to touch on are the additional ways that you're going to get gems immediately day 1 of doing these rerolls. You could come into supply and get your daily gems for 15 there. You could come into event and get your daily gems for 25 there. That's 40 gems for free. You're also able, depending on which day of the week it is, you're able to get either 50 or 40 gems per day for powering up gems, spending gems, and doing arena battles. So if it's the weekend, you're actually going to have several hundred gems available to you for doing those. Between that and the supply, the daily supply, that gets us close to our second summon once we've finished the swamp here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do all of those things, and we're going to see how many gems we have. All right, I just knocked out a couple PvP battles in the arena. Grabbed my free gems that I was allowed. Right now, there's actually an additional event going on, which could potentially give you some more gems. See, here's 100 extra right there. Pretty cool. Anyway, so that gives me enough gems to be able to do my first Twilight Illyrium summon. So we're going to buy that. I'll show you, like I said, we're not even done with this yet. We haven't done the swamp. This is all before the swamp. So that gives us the opportunity. So it's important to talk here about what we're looking for. Our ideal thing would be a 4-star or 5-star summon right here, right off the bat. That would be a good reason to continue forward. Bare minimum, we don't want one of the free units that we'll be able to receive. I'll pop those up here on the screen just now. You'll be able to see any of these are immediately a reroll. We really don't want duplicates. There are only 24 3-stars available to us, and so we really want to make sure that we can get a bunch of them. Best case scenario for a 3-star pull would be Light Gyrolean or the Dark Steelwing. Those would be my two personal choices. They both provide AoE defense break, which is something that for LD only seems to really be missing. A 4-star unit would be awesome to get the Light Wisp Catcher, and then obviously any 4-star or 5-star would be amazing. So you're looking for Light Gyro, you're looking for Dark Steelwing, and you're looking to not receive one of the free units that you'll get anyway. Let's see what we get. We get the Dark Gyrolean. I was so excited. So that is our first LD summon. The next LD summon is either going to be the next time you get to 650, or it's going to be completing the final story stage on normal. You're going to get a challenge here in Path to the Truth that gives you an LD scroll, a Twilight Illyrium. So that'll be your next summon in the process, whichever one of those two things comes first. If you do decide to push forward with the challenge from here and not reset, I would recommend doing a little bit of upkeep to make the rest of this push a little bit easier on yourself. The first thing that I would do is, if you haven't, like I did, 4-star your Hog Chef and take it to max level 40. The reason we're going to do this is because it completes a challenge that gives us a set of 4-star vampire gears. We're going to power these up to plus 12, and then we get the choice of deciding, is the Hog Chef going to be better at dealing damage, or is whatever we summoned with our first LD scroll going to be a better choice? Whatever that ends up being, we're going to put the vampire runes on the damage dealing unit, we're going to put the other runes on the other, and we're going to continue through. All right, so you've pushed through. You have done your second and third summons. So you defeated the story mode on normal. That gives you your second summon, and you were able to use the tiki-taki event points and things like that. Ooh, look, free stuff. To be able to get your third summon. And that gives you the core base beginning of a team. From there, all you're going to want to try to do is take those 3 units, put the best gears that you have available to you, come into Boxing Club, and just try to get to B5 with the units that you have. You could always toss in fodders with gears as extra units, yada yada. Even if all you could do is get to B5 and then use a friend's unit to beat B5, that will unlock access to all these other dungeons, and that's going to allow you to come in, and there's a couple free units you can obtain through doing so. So you'll actually be able to get the Bouncing Joker as well as the Light Steel Wing, which are both very strong units when you don't have any units at all. So those would be the next things that you would want to do. Just try to level your units up. Whatever you get, as long as it's not one of the duplicates, you're going to level those up, get them to the place where you can clear B5 and unlock that. Once you've accomplished that, even if you had to use a friend's unit, the next step of the process is going to be grinding through all of hard so that you can get the extra gems from that. And in the process of grinding through all of hard, you should also be able to clear some of the additional PvP missions in here for participating in an arena, and get the remaining gems that you need to work towards your 4th summon. if you're coming up short on that 4th summon and you're just needing a few more crystals or gems, excuse me, an easy way to do so, because you've already defeated the secret base area, you'll unlock the Lost Tunnel, and you'll be able to come in here. You get 5 gems for every non 5th floor, so floor 5, 10, 15, 20, etc. gives you real rewards, but every floor that's not that gives you 5 gems. So between normal and hard, you should be able to do a few floors even at the very beginning, and that can get you somewhere between, 50 to 100 more gems if you're just a little bit short on getting that 4th summon. And then wrapping this whole thing up, the next important thing to know is that you're only able to purchase 3 Twilight Illyriums per week at the 650 rate. Your next purchase option is going to be 1,900 gems for 3 Twilight Illyriums. So it's not really feasible to, set up a process and how you're going to get those 1,900 gems. There's a lot of different content that offers them, guild content and such. But the really, truly, the reroll process ends here. You've gotten the initial options available to you. You check your team, you decide if you want to continue forward, and now you're kind of playing the game, right? You got to build your teams and, progress. And with that, that brings us to the conclusion of our LD only reroll video. If you find something helpful here, then please, by all means, comment down below. I'd love to know, are you guys doing the LD only challenge? Is this content that you're interested in? I'm very interested in what the team building looks like and how people beat Tunnel and stuff like that personally. So anyway, if this is something you've enjoyed, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. As always, be kind to each other and take care until next time.